everybody, this is gonna be a daily experience video. These days I'm not talking about my daily experience, rather experience of a season, because I don't want to make 20 videos that are almost completely the same. These days my most prevalent experience is that heaven is so available on the earth. When I gave this name to my channel, like Heaven and Earth, it just sounded good. I mostly meant by it that you can have crazy heavenly encounters and visitations while you live on Earth. Nowadays it means more like you can live the earthly things, your everyday life, completely in the heavenly reality. So much changed these days. It's strange sometimes, and it's sometimes a little bit hard, like it's foreign, because I used to like really cling to my visions and heavenly visitations and all these things. Like I really loved them, and it wasn't a pride thing. I suppose maybe it was part of it, but it was more like the only place I felt peace and rest and I could receive love was inside of those experiences. And in between those experiences I felt terrible first, after I started to feel okay or like good. But it is only these days that I feel like my simple afternoon when I work is just as joyful and peaceful and full of love as if I had spent it in a heavenly out-of-body experience. And it's strange because I used to cling to those, like I wanted to make them frequent and long, and you need to know that I was so anxious and I struggled with so many things that this was the only place where I could receive love. Not that there weren't people who loved me and in other areas of my life, I just couldn't receive love. This was the only place where I could receive love. You know, when you find yourself at a beautiful place with different strange beings, different colors, a whole new system, you are much more likely to feel differently. And feeling differently was like finally feeling peace, finally feeling love. And so yeah, this was my safe place, seeing heaven. And I'm not talking about these things like it's the past, I no longer need it, or it's not significant. All I'm saying is that it does not have the same importance as it used to. Like for a long time, it was the presence of God. This was the place where I could feel well. And now it's one of those things. Like it's still interesting to see some visions, or like when I don't see it for a long time, like, oh, Holy Spirit, show me something. I want to, I don't want to neglect this thing, but also it's like I don't need it anymore, in the sense that I can have that joy and freedom and playfulness and in being weird for the fun of it, kind of like what you can be in heaven. Like I can do that. I can do that, like even while I'm being with people. For a long time, like experience of God and people were two different things. Like I just had to move away and leave people alone. I wanted to become a hermit. And nowadays, like Um, I have to spend like weeks with people, and yeah, it can be heaven. It can be, I can look for heaven in our dinner and in our interactions and when we play a board game and when I answer the email of a depressed girl. I expect the presence of God to be real in those things, but it's not just I expect it. It's like at the end of the day, I just realize it, like this whole thing with all the different happenings, it was all in the presence of God. These things were all individual expressions of the presence of God, and it was all fine. And yeah, it's so much joy. I really love it. um, I really love that I don't have to have a specific feeling or experience to enjoy life or enjoy the love of God. And it took me a long time, to be honest. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be that long for anyone else. So, yeah, with all the mental health issues, I really needed that safe space in my mind, which was the heavenly visions and encounters. And now my simple everyday life is a heavenly visitation, and I have the same peace, the same joy, the same excitement. I don't say like every day I'm totally aware of that presence or that reality, but I no longer need special visions for that, and I really love it. And I still don't want to like talk down on heavenly visitations or saying that they are not important. They are important in a way of like making you realize the reality. Like it's about shocking you into seeing the reality. It's like going through all the strongholds in your mind and reaching you. Um, God was always that real, heaven was always that real, love and peace and all that. All the realities of heaven has always been there, you just didn't know it. And those experiences help you know it. But it's not about these experiences, it's about the reality they convey. And of course they are fun, and sometimes God does things just for the fun of it, so I still love experiencing things like that, like seeing heavenly scenes and things like that. But the essence of heaven is so much bigger than a picture of it. Like all the best and most vivid experiences we have, if we put them all together, they pale in comparison of what he's like and who he is. Like these are pictures painted by God so that he can show something to us that we can receive. But he's so beyond them and so much bigger than them. Like they are like really like pictures in the album of God. They are good in waking us up and making us realize and making us want this reality. And they are really good at like giving us a great time with God and enjoying life with God. But they are not the presence of God. They are just one of the expressions of the presence of God. And some of my best friends have no, like absolutely zero heavenly visitations, and they are so aware of that reality of the peace and presence of God. So crazy experiences can help you to become more aware of the presence and enjoy it, but they are not the condition. Like when you experience those things, then you will know the presence of God. It's just not true. I need to tell you. And I don't want to degrade those things and say they are not important. They are important. It's just they lose their importance seeing the reality that they reflect. You are loved, and have as much fun seeing heaven as you want, but it's so good when you don't just see heaven when you see heaven, but you see heaven anyways. You're loved.